Imagine sitting in third period math. You're taking notes, the room is quiet, and without warning, an invisible weight drops onto your chest. Your heart starts pounding violently against your ribs. Your breathing grows shallow, dizziness sets in, and your hands go completely numb. In a matter of minutes, a quiet classroom transforms into a desperate struggle for air, leaving you utterly convinced that you are having a fatal medical emergency. To understand this, we look at the body's internal wiring. A harmless spike in heart rate is misinterpreted by the brain's threat detection center, sparking an escalating feedback loop. The brain hits the emergency alarm, flooding the body with adrenaline for a non-existent physical threat. Because this physiological mimicry is so intense, it often feels indistinguishable from a physical crisis. For a teenager, and the teachers watching it happen, this is a severe, acute event that demands a real response. The immediate physical response is flight. A student will bolt from their desk and seek refuge in the school nurse's office, desperate for a medical explanation for their distress. This illustrates the long-term danger, the blast radius of avoidance. Fear of one specific classroom rapidly expands. The brain associates the location with the danger, eventually flagging hallways, the cafeteria, and the entire campus as unsafe. Left unchecked, a natural instinct to avoid pain turns a treatable psychological event into chronic school absenteeism and panic disorder. There is a highly effective way to stop these attacks, but the most proven method completely defies our survival instincts. This flowchart outlines a specific form of cognitive behavioral therapy known as interoceptive exposure. It maps how physical triggers interact with the brain's threat response over time to mechanically dismantle the false alarm system. Curious. Instead of avoiding the symptoms, a therapist guides the student to intentionally replicate them. By breathing heavily to simulate shortness of breath, or spinning in a chair to induce dizziness, they safely recreate the exact physical sensations they fear most. These guided exercises, paired with targeted grounding skills, safely rewire the nervous system. The student learns that a racing heart is just a racing heart, decoupling the physical sensation from the feeling of impending doom. To successfully manage the false alarm, you have to stop running, turn around, and intentionally trigger it to prove it holds no actual danger. Trying this without clinical training is dangerous. Pushing a student to trigger their own panic symptoms without the right tools can backfire, reinforcing the trauma instead of resolving it. A licensed professional knows exactly how to pace these exposure exercises. They provide immediate, targeted grounding techniques right as the panic peaks, ensuring the student stays safely within their window of tolerance. The success of this counterintuitive cure relies entirely on having an expert guide available exactly when and where the student's crisis occurs. Waitlists for specialized adolescent therapy often stretch for months. During that time, schools and families are left to manage acute panic attacks on their own, usually without specialized tools. MentalSpace School addresses this by embedding dedicated therapist teams directly into the school ecosystem. Because a student's environment and background play a major role in how they experience anxiety, these licensed clinicians provide culturally competent care tailored to Georgia's diverse student populations. This logistics framework provides same-day teletherapy and crisis intervention. This structure also helps Georgia districts meet the specific mental health safety and compliance standards required by HB 268 before the July 2026 deadline. They accept major commercial insurances and provide care to Medicaid-enrolled students with zero out-of-pocket costs, removing the primary barrier to immediate intervention. By removing wait times and financial hurdles, schools can provide immediate psychological support, allowing students to return to their education more quickly. This chart shows the concrete impact of deploying immediate evidence-based care: an 89% improvement in attendance, a 92% reduction in student anxiety, and an 85% family satisfaction rate. A panic attack is deeply terrifying, but embedding immediate expert support into schools ensures it remains a manageable hurdle in a student's life.